being a comedian, you're not just up on the stage doing all these shows. This is quite a big tour, isn't it? You've got quite a lot of dates coming up for this one.
Yeah, there's about 150 so far, I think. But I've paced myself.
Yeah.
I am still recovering, and so I've paced myself. There's no shows where I've got 5 or 6 shows in a week. None of that.
Yeah.
4 shows maximum. I've got a little breaks all the time to make sure I keep my energy levels up. And at the moment, I am absolutely loving it and no problems. And it's fantastic. I'm loving being back on stage. I've got a few little niggly problems around my throat and neck, which you'd expect after being blasted with radiotherapy for 30 times. But apart from that, all is good.
You also do a lot of television work as well, don't you? Not just comedy. Sometimes it's more of the serious stuff as well. How much of satisfaction has that given you over the years?
It's all been an evolving career, really. I started off just doing stand-up comedy and doing comedy shows. There's nothing else to them. They're just comedy shows. Would I Lie to You? Things like that. Great fun. But they're comedy. Cats Countdown, that kind of thing, whatever. And then through the work experience series, I think what happened was I did work experience and I started to realize that there were things out there, jobs out there, especially teaching, especially caring, especially those sort of socially useful ones that I really loved. And I realized that there's part of me that wants to do that and loves that. So I think then I started working that into my career and started thinking, right, well, I might do a serious documentary about something now, social anxiety, infertility, cancer for it. And I think the work experience made me realize that I wanted to do more than just try and make people laugh. I wanted to do something with it. So now most of my shows tend to be trying to do something with my comedy. So trying to raise awareness of something in my comedy, I'm not trying to hit people over the head with it. It's always comedy, but I'm trying to smuggle in information or try and help people so I'm trying to do a bit of social good, put something back. That's the phrase. I'm trying to put something back.
Yeah.
But using comedy to do it. That's where I've got to in my life, I think.
And looking back at, what got you into comedy in the first place?
A woman, an ex-girlfriend who saw something in me that I did not see at all. And she took me to a comedy show, Eddie Izzard, in 1997. I've never even been. I was in my late 20s. I'd never even been to a comedy night. There was nothing in Carmarthen growing up. There was no comedy night or, no club anywhere nearby. So I'd never been. And she took me to that and it blew my mind and he was incredible. And she went, "You could do that." And I was like, "Yeah, right. Yeah, I'll get up now. I'll do a bit after he's finished if you want. I'll get up and do 10 minutes. I was like, don't be so stupid. People like me do not do stuff like that. And she kept saying, "You could do that," for 8 years. And I kept saying, "Don't be so stupid. I can't do something like that." And in the end, I thought, "Oh, I'm all right. I'll give it a go." And I gave it a go. And the rest is history, really. A year later, I'd given up my job. I was doing it full time, loving it, and I've never worked since. No, but I'm joking. That's what happened. Without that lady, nothing would ever have happened. I had no ambition, no desire, no dream, no thought of doing anything in the world of comedy. Nothing.
Who do you like laughing at yourself when you get your own shutdown time?
I don't watch much anymore because it's become a little bit like if I watch if we, me and my wife winding down in the night, we don't watch comedy ever. Never would we watch. No, because we'll just end up going, "Oh, well, that could have been done differently," or "What do you think of that character?" Or "Was that joke? Was that the right?" It just becomes work. So it's like, So I don't watch much comedy. If I'm in a festival or something, I'll go along and see a few shows, and there are some amazing people out there. Too many to mention, but Eddie Izzard was the one, I guess, that going to see it that night was the one where I thought, wow, that's magic. What he's done there is magic. So I actually got offered years later. So the way I got into comedy was, I started off, I tiptoed in. So I went to work in first of all, we started going to a comedy club in London every Monday night in a room above a pub. And then in that pub, in the comedy club, they said, "We're looking for volunteers just to help put the chairs out, welcome the comedians, do the lights, just in a room above a pub." And I said, "I'll do that, So I did that. And one night, Eddie Izzard came down and I got to introduce him over the microphone, ladies and gentlemen. And that was the highlight of my life at that point. And a few years later, I got offered a headline slot, me, Ross Noble and Eddie Izzard in a festival.
Awesome.
I turned it down because I thought, I am not worthy. I am not joint headline material with Eddie Izzard and Ross Noble. That's absurd. And I turned it down. I thought, I can't go from holding his coat 1 minute and introducing him to the stage to being alongside him. I don't deserve that. So I turned it down. Yeah. Yeah.
Are you quite critical of yourself and your work still? Or yeah?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah. My own, I mean, apart from you, my own worst critic.
I will let you know, I did give you a good review that night.
Oh,
so
good.
Don't worry. So don't worry.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. I should have checked that before I agreed to this interview. I'm a big I think a lot of comics are. We beat ourselves up and we try. I think you've got to be. I think, to get anywhere in this life, you've got to be sort of a mixture of things. You've got to be hard. You've got to have a bit of optimism, a bit of confidence, a bit of swagger, but you've also got to scrutinize what you do and try harder and realize when it's not good enough and do better.
Thank you very much for giving me a bit of your time today, and can I wish you all the very best with the forthcoming tour. And you're continuing the recovery of your health as well. It's wonderful to see you. And you always bring a laugh when I see you on TV, and even those memories from coming to see you years ago as well.
Oh well, come along again. It's been too
long. I will
long.
do, buddy.
Come
Look after
again.
yourself.
Cheers, pal. Ta-ra.